Hi everyone, I hope that you had a nice May, all things considered of course. At least the weather is finally beautiful here in New York City, coming at you with a much longer beard and much longer hair than the first video. But wanted to get you some more information around what the statistics that I just gave actually mean. Where is it actually coming from? So we're seeing this increase in listings and we're seeing this increase in contracts signed, and it's stemming from what's going on behind the scenes. From the buyer and the listing side, we're seeing a lot more activity from buyers actually inquiring and brokers inquiring for buyers to see property and actually make offers if they can actually see it, whether it be virtually or if they can somehow arrange an in-person visit with the seller. Now, what's causing the buyers to actually take advantage of what's going on in the market? Now, for the last several years, we've been consistently hearing that buyers are waiting for the market to bottom out. They're waiting for prices to soften. Well, what better time to take advantage of softening prices than right now, when the market seems to have been at its low? Because there's still a number of questions along where the market's going, which we'll get to in a second. We can see that right now, buyers who are well qualified are looking to move forward. What's causing them to actually move forward? Well, the biggest thing is people are at home and you have time to actually browse online to find a home that's working for you. The second thing is mortgage rates. Right now, this week, the rates for a 30-year fixed mortgage are at an average of 3.15%. We compare that to last year, the average for a 30-year fixed rate was 3.99%. So if you can take advantage of this insane mortgage world that we're living in, why not go ahead and move forward with it? So we have, first, seems that prices are softening a little bit, and there could be some more negotiability power from the buyer side. Combine that with mortgage rates and where they are. Well, then we ask ourselves, what's the driving factor? Because we know people can't afford it. We know it's maybe a good financial decision, but what's causing this? Well, we're all spending a lot more time in our home and really seeing what's important to us for our living situation. And these things can often naturally cause some type of movement in the market. If you're currently living downtown and you want to explore uptown to be closer to Central Park, well, now you're really seeing that opportunity to do that. Or vice versa, if you're working uptown and you think you want to be downtown long term, or maybe closer to your office, well then it does make sense to now look and make that, expedite that move to get to that other area. Or maybe it's just getting out of the city. We're seeing a lot of buyers who maybe were considering going to Connecticut, Jersey, Westchester, any other market. We're seeing this really cause them to take a serious look at maybe expediting that search. Whether or not the buyers actually move forward with moving out of the city, we still have yet to see. This is still a very, very early process. Some will, some won't, but it's causing people to take that extra step to look elsewhere. At the same time, there's people looking for second homes so that they can have a way to escape and get out of Manhattan. And then on the other side of that, people who maybe want to move into the city to be closer to work, to be closer to the action, because they're living in their suburban house and they don't want to be there anymore. So whether it's upgrading, downsizing because you have too much space, this is really putting us into a world where we're having a perspective of what's important about the home. Now, the biggest thing as far as pricing, which is of course still the multi-million-dollar question, there's been a lot of statistics being thrown around. And why I feel it's very dangerous to paint New York City with such a broad brush is New York City is such a hyper-localized market. And I've been saying this over and over again. The trends that we see in Crown Heights for one bedrooms do not apply to the West Village co-op 3 bedrooms or the luxury market. Every single segment in New York City has a very different trend that we're seeing. So while we're seeing negotiability, many is in the range of either 1 to 4%. Then we see another segment in the 4 to 8 to maybe 10%. We are seeing on occasion some that are in that 15% range in a reduction from the asking price. So when we're looking at the data overall, I don't think we're going to be able to find an actual average of where the New York City market is falling as far as softening in prices. I think there is going to be a softening of pricing, at least short term, as the market gains momentum, which is why smart buyers are looking right now to secure that softening of price. And B, it depends on what you're looking for. I've been telling this story that as a team, we had a buyer just negotiate a new development condo in an up-and-coming Brooklyn neighborhood for about 16% off of the asking price, closer to 20% with concessions. I had just had a colleague on the other side list a $1.8 million property downtown. It's a luxury loft, get an accepted offer, and contracts are set to be signed inside of 2 weeks, based on a virtual showing in this market. So we have these two very different worlds, and then we have a lot that's falling in the middle. So if you really want to know what the impact of the market is going to be, we want to have a discussion of what you're specifically looking for, which is where I'm happy to help with, and to give you more information around how your home, the value of your home, or what the value of your apartment search could possibly be. I do think there's opportunities. I do think there's plenty of segments where savvy buyers can take advantage, given the rates, the softening of the price, and just the timing aspect. But we are expecting a very busy summer market, busy with activity. Maybe not busy with price setting records, but there is still a lot of movement, and we're seeing a lot of people start to begin to pick up their search again. If you have any questions, as always, please feel free to reach out, call, text, email, Instagram, WhatsApp, whatever it is. I'm here to help with whatever you need. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I look forward to catching up next month.